of a prosthesis, and our procedure was done open. So again, we always ask ourselves, what was the intent of the procedure? What did they try to do with the procedure, and how does that match to one of our root operations? So if we think about this procedure, what are we doing? We're revising a prosthetic, right? We're revising something that's already in place. So our root operation is revision. Okay, if we look at the root operation definition for revision, it is correcting to the extent possible a portion of a malfunctioning device or the position of a displaced device. So that's what we're doing, right? We're readjusting ours so it's not in the correct location. So we're going to look up revision. That's our root operation. We always look up the root operation in our PCS index to find the table we go to, right? So if we go to revision in the index, and then you ask yourself what body part or what location was the root operation procedure completed. So revision of what? Yeah, the knee. Good. Revision of the knee. So in our index, we're going to look up revision of device in the knees at joint, right? You're not going to find knee. You're not going to find knee just as a subterm. You have to go to joint and then knee, because the knee is a joint. So the body part's a joint, and then the knee is the specific body part. So in our index, under revision of device in joint, we're going to go to knee, and then left, because it's our left knee per the scenario. And we'll see left, and then indented we either see femoral or tibial surface, which that is not documented in our documentation at all. So we're not going to pick one of those. We're just going to pick the term left, and then we see characters 0, S, W, D, right? So now we're going to flip to table 0, S, W. So the number 0 and then the letters S, W. Remember, 0 is always a number. We never use the capital letter O in PCS. It's always the number 0. So we're going to flip to 0, S, W, and then find where row D is. So hopefully you guys are at the table. So our table is 0SW. And I want to point out here that D is in 4 different rows. So remember when I taught you early on that you have to stay in the same row. So if you find your character value in more than one row, you need to determine what row you're going to use and stay specifically in that row. So I like to do a process of elimination. And what I mean by that is look at character value for 5 and see if my value is in more than one row. I'm going to pick the row where my value is, right? So we know our row is D. Now let's look at the 5th character. We know ours was open, right? Our approach is open. It says open. So I'm going to look for the rows where open is a value. So it's either the first row or the second row. If we look at the 3rd and 4th row, where D is the body part for the 4th column, the approach is percutaneous, endoscopic, or external. So we know we cannot have those rows, right? So we can rule out using row 3 or 4 where D is my 4th body part character, okay? So we're looking at rows 1 and 2. And in my book, page 590, the bottom of the table has the first row where G is my character. And then the top of 591 has the next row, right? So those are the two we're looking at. So we know our approach is open. So now we can go to device to determine which row we need to be in. So you can see the first row where D is has a ton of choices. So let's look at the second. It has just synthetic substitute. So if we look at the device characters, for the first row we have drainage device, infusion device, internal fixation device, external fixation device, autologous tissue substitute spacer, liner, or non-autologous tissue substitute. And in the second row, our device character is J for synthetic substitute. So what do you guys think a prosthetic knee will be? It's not a drainage device, right? It's not an infusion device. It's not an internal or external fixation device. Those are used in fractures, right? Internal fixation would be like rods and pins. External is like a halo. It's not an autologic tissue substitute. It's not spacer, liner, or non-autologous, right? Good, it's J, right? It's a synthetic substitute. Synthetic meaning it's man-made. It comes from a company, Stryker or whoever. And so we're in that second row. So now we know that our qualifier is either C or Z. So C is patellar surface, or Z is no qualifier. So again, you have to go back to your documentation. Anywhere in our documentation does it say patellar surface? Nope, it doesn't, right? So we're going to pick Z for no qualifier. Good. So our code is 0SWD0JZ.